Welcome to the Caregiving Podcast. I'm Inga.
And I'm Julie.
And long story short, we have Caregiving. We are two momtrepreneurs who have built an in-home care business from the ground up, guided every step of the way by God's care and fueled by agape love. Almost 14 years later, we felt called to create this podcast as a resource for families with caregiving needs. Whether you care for a family member or are looking for advice on professional caregiving, we want this to be a platform to support you.
Each week, we will come to you with encouraging stories of families who have found the right balance for their loved ones, tips for how to care for them and you, and much more. We hope you continue to join us each week as we share in this exciting new journey together.
Hello, Sunshines, and hello, Julie. How are you?
I'm good, Inga. How are you?
I'm really good because you just had a really big yawn, and then I caught it, and that's like the best thing in the world. Then I was kind of complaining about, being outside, doing chores, and the dreary, and the yuck, and the wind, and having that face covering, and you go to take a big yawn and suck your wild rag in. Ever had that happen?
No.
No? Just me? Okay.
Don't do it. It sounds bad.
Ever had anybody steal your yawn?
No, that's a new thing.
It is miserable. It's miserable. So if someone's really mean to you, like if you're really mad, does Mike yawn ever?
I'm going to have to watch.
Yeah. Just midway through the yawn, just poke your finger like that, and it just takes the yawn away.
In his mouth?
It's terrible. Not all the way.
Ew, right.
I don't know. I shouldn't be saying these things publicly. It makes me come across as very mean-spirited.
I love it, though. I'm going to have to
You're going to try it?
Yes.
Yeah. It doesn't harm anyone, but it's super annoying.
Because you're wide-eyed open, eyes closed,
mouth
open. That's how I yawn.
Oh, is it? Okay, well then maybe nobody could steal your yawn because you wouldn't see it coming. So
I have to ponder this, Inga. This is very, very deep conversation for the day.
Now I've got a yawn, and my punishment is that I'm not going to be able to do it.
Well, if I get out of this chair really fast and start
get
to
over
poke,
there and
you'll
stop
know.
it. Hey, have you ever had a problem eating?
That is the silliest question I've ever heard.
Yeah. I've had a problem with eating too much.
Yes.
Too many tacos, too much ice cream, too many moonshines.
Yeah. No, with today's podcast, there's a lot of people that do have problems with food, and I'm not one of those. But I just really had to stop and think about that. Just going, no.
Well, and it can come and go. Like, think about the time when Callie's stomach, for no apparent reason, just shut down.
Yeah. And even when I was sick and I was a little girl, my mom would always know really how sick I was based on what kind of food I wanted to eat. Because I remember one time being homesick, and she goes, "What do you want for lunch, you poor little girl?" And I said, "Chili." And she was like, "You're not sick."
Yeah.
But anyway, so busted.
Oh, chili. That's how she knew. You got to say Cheetos and 7-Up. That's the food of sick people, at least at my house.
Oh, the funny.
And I think that came from Grandma Fisher. Again, like when we were little, if we were sick, that was the best place to be because she would like set you up in the TV room. She would give you a little bell to ding.
Oh, my word.
I know. She really did treat us like kings and queens.
Oh, cute.
I mean, still does, but.
Cute.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, verse of the week.
Yes.
1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31. So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do all to the glory of God.
Yep, we're talking about eating and drinking today. And I was like, you know what? I'm supposed to be eating and drinking to the glory of God. So we're supposed to enjoy it.
Heck yeah.
So there you go.
And especially, did you know that on Sunday, those are the Lord's carbs, so they don't count?
Oh, there you go. Even better.
It's for his glory.
Yeah. There you
That's
go.
great. That's fantastic. I want you to do your good news story first today because I will probably cry on mine.
Oh, my word. Okay. So ours today actually is about senior nutrition. So that's why we're talking about food. But when I, just about a month ago, I took my youngest daughter, Callie, to Arizona State University. And as we're driving around, walking around, trying to get a feel for the campus, and we're checking out the bookstore and all the fun stuff, all of a sudden this thing comes rolling up by me, and I didn't know what it was, but it's about this big, and it's on 4 wheels, and it's like a baby robot. But what they've done, it's a prototype. They're the second campus in the nation to get this, and it's actually a food delivery robot. And so basically there's a video that we'll put in the show notes so you can watch the little thing. It's really actually very cute. You order, it goes and picks it up for you. Then on your phone, you have to like show the code so that it will open and this and that. And it's got all around it, it's got all of these videos and cameras, so it can see if somebody's coming. It can see if a car's coming. It can sense the lights. It's just unbelievable. And you know, if somebody tries to steal it, it's not going to work because it just shuts down, and also it will get you on camera.
So wait, so where does it get the food from?
Well, wherever you order from.
Oh,
it's just like DoorDash, except
for it's a robot?
It's a robot. So I was pondering that, thinking, well, that's somebody doesn't get a job because a robot is taking it over. But there's also DoorDash going like crazy down there too. So the need on that campus must be that big.
Right. But can you imagine that little robot trekking out to Schrady Road or Lost Creek Drive?
Yeah, that one will
works in the big city, probably not in rural.
Right. Each robot can carry up to 20 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And so basically they're called Starship robots, and they use a combination of machine learning, artificial intelligence, and onboard sensors to navigate sidewalks and avoid obstacles. According to the release, the computer vision-based navigation helps the robots to map their environment to the nearest inch, allowing the robots to cross streets, climb curbs, travel at night, and operate in both rain and snow. They travel at 4 miles an hour, but will slow down if they sense pedestrians, cars, bicycles, or other moving objects. Each robot can travel a couple hours until their batteries run down, where they seek out a charging station. And actually, there is a team of humans that is monitoring their progress, and can take control of the machine if need be.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're the cutest little things. But like I said, I'm on the fence if I like it or not.
That is wild. It's just technology, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, are you ready for my good news story?
No, don't make me cry.
Okay. Well, it's about hope.
Yeah.
So first I wanted to give the definition. Hope is a confident expectation and desire for something good in the future. So today I actually wanted to talk about our hope. Okay, so Hope is a life coach. She started working with us a few months ago, but it certainly does feel like she's been with us forever. And for anyone that doesn't know, in terms of what we do, the definition or description of life coach is a holistic approach to addressing the social determinants of health that impact a member's overall health and well-being, and addresses the obstacles that impede a member's progress towards self-sufficiency, improved health, and well-being. Life coaches aim to motivate, offer emotional support, create confidence, and to be an accountability partner for the member. The life coach educates, guides, inspires, and supports the member in developing independent living skills and reaching the member's full potential based on the member's goals. Okay, so as you know, Julie, the members that we serve with the life coach program they all have a mental health diagnosis, at least one, and those diagnoses can range from like severe anxiety, major depression, schizophrenia, post-traumatic stress disorder, like, you know, very significant life impacting diagnosis, right? So you can imagine it takes a certain personality, level of energy, and truly just heart to be able to operate as a successful life coach, right? Because I think about myself and I'm like, man, sometimes I got to kick myself in the butt to get motivated for the day. So think about when you're trying to do this, not only for yourself, but for many other people,
right?
And goal setting and all of those things that I think we take for granted as ourselves. And now you're helping other people do that. Well, here's the thing. I just have to tell you that basically this story itself was prompted for me by a recent situation where our life coach Hope felt that one of her members was being unfairly treated. And she said something to me that I was just like, girl, I love that so much. And she basically just said, they're going to have to go through me to get to him. And I was like, you know what? It stuck with me because if you think about Apaga Home Care and what we do, so many times we are rooting for the underdog, we're helping the underdog, and we're going through the hardest times of somebody's life with them, right? Not just on the life coach program, but in everything that we do. So Hope and I had the chance to sit down, and she has told me, and I'm going to start crying. I know I'm going to, so I actually brought tissue. But anyway, we sat down and we talked for a long time, and she talked to me about a lot of different instances and things that she does to empower her people and to really just show them the value of who they are and what they bring to the table, right? But there's one thing that she does, and I didn't realize it at the time. Like, I've seen the progression of it, but I didn't realize the intent behind it. And so basically, she does this thing, and it truly captures exactly how much joy she brings to all of her people's lives. Essentially, during every shift, Hope and her member will take a selfie together, right? You've seen them.
Yep.
She sends them, and I look forward to those. She told me that she does not like selfies. She doesn't like it, but she started doing it because most of the people that she works with don't like to look at themselves. They don't like to look at themselves because they don't see value or purpose. They don't want to see themselves at all. So she says that they take a selfie together, and she's like, I promise I only keep the good ones, right? So you and I would probably take a really dopey one just because that's who we are.
On purpose.
But she only keeps the good pictures to capture the joy. And what's really, really interesting about it is that she said a lot of times, like in the beginning, like her people would maybe not look at the camera, maybe have their heads down, or after the picture was taken, they wouldn't want to see it. But as time has gone on, now if she forgets to take that picture, they're like, come on, we got to take our selfie.
Cute.
And I don't know. She is just an amazing person. And I think it's just so neat that she is showing them the value of themselves, and that to be able to look at themselves and see themselves as happy and worthy is just huge to me. So anyway, really, truly, honestly, probably about every third time I think about Hope, I get a little weepy, and I've already cried about it today. So I'm trying to hold myself together today, but I really I wanted to give a shout out to Hope and just say thank you and keep doing you. And I hope that everyone has a little hope in their life.
Oh, that is awesome. Yeah. She is just a blessing to us. Yeah. And in turn, she became a blessing to all of her clients.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what you were saying is absolutely true. She's got a couple, most of her cases are pretty tough. Yep. These are people that are dealing with some pretty significant mental health illnesses. And she has just brought them out of their shell.
Oh yeah.
And she just brings so much joy. What an incredible blessing.
Oh my gosh. And it's just interesting to me to listen to each story, and we all have our stuff, right? We all have things that we can work on. And so each of the members that she's working with, they have a certain thing that maybe they're trying to be better about, whether that's bathing more frequently or swearing less frequently, which I should probably spend some more time with her, but or making it to their appointments, or being able to make eye contact with someone when they're in the community.
Right.
And like the little things that she was telling me a story about one of her people, very hesitant with the stove and the oven, just extremely hesitant. I don't know the backstory, but the moment that she heard that was a challenge for that individual, she was like, that's it. Tomorrow we're making chocolate chip cookies. So the next shift, they make chocolate chip cookies. Oh. He's right in there. He's working with the oven. I mean, I don't know. I just hope.
She's just a dash of magic.
She is. I just tell her she's a miracle worker. And really, honestly, the thing about her, she makes every person feel like somebody.
Yeah. 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 And that's a gift. She is. Yeah. I have told her over and over what a gift she is. And I hope she believes that we believe that.
Yes. Yes. And it's amazing the confidence that you can inspire in other people if they feel like they're somebody. If she does it, man. She does it. Yep. Absolutely. So there you go.
Thank you, Hope. We love you.
Yes. So if you have a good news story or you have a verse that you'd like to share with us, please email those to thecaregivenpodcast@gmail.com. And let's get into it. Senior nutrition. We're always talking about good, healthy diets.
Yes, we are. But when it comes to senior nutrition, it's a very, very important topic. And because food isn't just food. And so basically it just has a big impact on every aspect of your life. It helps with energy levels, boosting the immune system, and makes you feel great inside and out.
Yep.
And it also helps some people with the right nutrition with feelings of youthfulness. So that's a good thing. It's just essential. Certain foods, such as those containing omega-3 fatty acids, help keep your mind sharp. So adopting these, we're going to talk about that. What are the things that you should be doing, and that could actually help you? I do always hear, you are what you eat.
Yes.
Damn it, I'm a big old pizza.
Well, and it's interesting to keeping in mind that incorporating good nutrition into your life that's different than dieting, right? So I think sometimes the lines get blurred on those types of things. And when you think about, I've got to eat healthy, and you think about restriction or not getting what you want. And I don't think that that's necessarily the case. You can make good decisions and have proper and healthy nutrition. And not feel like you're going without.
No, one of my doctors that I went to at one point for my yearly checkups, basically they were just like, this is how much you should be eating, as big as your fist, because portions is the deal. And I'm like, oh, well, what if I put 2 or 3 fists together, especially if it's possible?
I know. Or you go to the restaurant and you get free bread before your meal, and then you're full by the time.
My favorite. Yeah.
We've been doing the HelloFresh meals, and it's a treat. I'll be honest. At first I had a love-hate relationship with them because they're like these extensive directions on how you put everything together. But now I know how to bypass and shortcut and do, put my little spin on it, but all the ingredients are there. So that's great. But the thing that I love about it is the portion sizes. It's basically there's 3 of us that typically eat at night, and then there's 1 left over for a lunch the next day. And really, if you slow down, it's enough.
Right. Yeah. You got to let that food hit the bottom of your gut.
Don't they say that a lot of times the reason why, you just keep eating because it takes a certain amount of time for your body to understand that it's actually full and register with your brain.
Righto.
So if you eat and then give it a sec.
Yeah.
Before you go back for your second helping.
Yeah.
But sometimes when it's pizza.
Yeah.
And
yeah. So basically, as people age, it's common for their metabolism.
It's okay.
It's been a week.
You'd think it was Monday, but it's Friday.
I should know this word, and it just was.
It's like when you can't think of how to spell like a tiny, like the.
Yeah.
You're like, it's there. I have it. I know.
I think this is the first time we got Alyssa to talk on the podcast, because she gave me that look and she goes, it's metabolism. She almost did it again.
It's really, I'm enjoying looking at her face though. She's
she is so impressed. Once again, so impressed. So anyway,
we don't know. We never think we can outdo ourselves, but we always do.
Always do. always. And the digestive systems tend to slow down. And so that's one of the things that we need to, think about is, depending on your activity level, also, you don't need as many calories. And so all of that is a big deal. Now, one of the things that we see for our seniors is they just lose interest in eating. Yeah. And somebody healthy like me that loves to eat, one of my gifts of service is food.
Yes.
Let's eat.
Yes.
And they're just looking at me like, but I'm not hungry. Well, you are, because I want a cookie, so you should have one too.
Yes. That is my love language. Food is my love language. And to give to other people, but then to receive, it's when I always tell people, like, if you like it, feel free to tell me. If you don't like it, feel free to lie to me.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
So just talking about calories, there's so many podcasts and all that about calories. We're just going to skim over it. But when you're planning your daily meals, include 2 or 3 tablespoons of healthy fats, such as extra virgin oil or coconut oil in your diet. Consume no more than 1,500 milligrams of sodium. Some people, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And depending on the diagnosis that you're going through, it can cause edema, the swelling, and all of that. Make sure that less than 10% of your daily calories is from saturated fat. Consume less than 300 milligrams of cholesterol a day. Avoid sugary drinks.
So if we were going to do an assessment on my day so far, I would be flunking, and it's 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I know.
Flunked every category.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So it's also important to pay attention to the food groups you're eating from. And the main food groups include fruits and veggies, grains, dairy, and dairy alternatives, meat and meat alternative. What is a meat alternative? We don't, forget it. So anyway, we could go into all of those. But the biggest thing is knowing what your person needs. Low sodium diet, diabetic diet, you know, those kinds of things. Yeah. So
let's talk about some of the signs of poor nutrition in seniors.
Yeah, that's very important.
Yeah. So basically, learning about all good nutrition for seniors it's a smart move, right? You should know the warning signs of poor nutrition. So you and your loved one may experience symptoms that point to a nutritional deficiency that can be resolved by dietary changes. If you suspect that there's any type of a deficiency, then you need to follow up with your doctor and get tested. And some of the common signs that may indicate either certain vitamins or minerals are lacking from you or a family member's diet: brittle or dry hair or increased hair loss, mouth issues such as cracking or inflammation at the corners of the mouth, or a pale, smooth, or swollen tongue, nails becoming dry and brittle and developing ridges or almost taking on like a spoon-like shape where they come off of the nail bed, poor digestion or sudden and unexpected changes like constipation or diarrhea. Unexplained fatigue can be a sign, and that would be especially if there are like no sleep issues present. Unexplained mood changes such as anxiety, depression, irritability, general moodiness, or unexplained weight loss.
Yeah. So I even on a personal level, you know, I've been running pretty ragged lately, and I'm actually this weekend gonna dig out the iron supplements. It's a self-diagnosis, but I have noticed that there's been times in my life when I've been really tired and I did need some extra iron. Then based on extra iron, you have to make darn sure that you're drinking more water because it will plug you up.
Oh, and I didn't need to know.
TMI, but I'm telling you, it's just then causes other troubles.
Yeah.
And I don't do it for very long, but it's just amazing that it takes you a while to figure out you're tired.
How long after you start taking that iron do you start to feel better from
couple
it?
Days couple days. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
And you can feel a significant difference. Huh?
I do.
That's awesome.
But see, then I quit taking it because you don't need to take it all the time. And then it will take me a while. Like now, just go, maybe I should do a little bit of iron. And because I've had a little bit of anemia here and there before, not a big deal. And I love a good steak. So it doesn't make any sense for me, but you know, maybe it's psychological too, but you know, I don't know. I'm going to ramp up on my iron and we'll see how by the middle of next week. I better feel better. Yeah. Yeah.
I've started actually taking like a handful of vitamins a day, different types of them based on some blood work that I had done. And I think it's helping. I don't know. Have you noticed a change? Have I been nicer to get along with lately? Julie's like, no comment. No, I think you nailed it though. I mean, we are running ragged right now with lambing for us, calving for you, business here, everything that we're trying to do. And everybody says that time flies and the older you get, the faster it goes. And I'm like, how is that possible? Like, how can we be going any faster now than we were a year ago or 5 years or 10 years? But it is absolutely true.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's just ridiculous. Yeah. Essential vitamins and minerals. And when it comes to that, you have to understand. You also have to make sure that the supplements you're going to take don't interact with any medications that you take. So there's a lot to think about, and it's just best to pass that by your doctor or your pharmacist because it then you're, like you said, you're going to cause other issues, and things do interact with each other. But you know, calcium and all of that, iron, the magnesium, omega-3s, potassium, those are all things that your body will react if you have a lack of.
Right. And they can cause some major, like, isn't there like heart stuff that can go on if magnesium levels are out of whack? I feel like Kevin's dad ended up in the hospital not too long ago with something like that.
Well, and just this week, somebody called and said that their potassium was low and it caused them to have mobility issues.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's just one of those things. B12 is another big one that you have to work on. And when I do a home visit, sometimes when people are saying we have to encourage her to eat, a lot of the times we're telling the caregivers, one of our jobs while we're there is to sit with them and encourage her to eat. Otherwise, you know, she'll forget. If she's at home alone, she won't cook for herself.
Well, do you remember one of my very first clients that I helped with, Miss Dolly, and she just wouldn't eat if nobody was there with her. So like it was the cakiest job ever. I would show up, she would cook me lunch, she would clean up. I mean, it was just like, but for the family, the value was there for us to be there because she just would not eat if we weren't there.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
But she needed that. And she was also one that was her love
yes,
language.
Absolutely. And that had been her profession. She was a cook or a chef or worked in the kitchen in some capacity her whole life. So that's what she knew. And
cute.
Oh, just the sweetest lady.
Yeah. So often what we're looking for too is ideas on supplementing with like Boost or some of those different protein drinks.
Right.
And then the other thing that I talk about a lot is just having finger foods next to the person.
Right.
Because if they're not going to eat when they should, maybe they'll be hungry a little bit later. So if they have crackers and cheese and this and that, but a lot of times, I mean, even with grandma, you gotta have that protein.
Right.
You've got to eat because that's what fuels this whole body.
Right.
And go from there and come on, have a couple scrambled eggs in the morning or whatever. What are you going to do to give enough extra nutrition? One thing that grandma loves is smoothies, and you can hide a whole bunch of crap in a smoothie. Even I would probably drink, well, unless they're green. I don't drink green smoothies.
Have you ever been to a Smoothie King? I think it's more of like a Midwest or South or something. I don't know. We went there when we were with Sammy in Tennessee, and then when we went to Nebraska, turns out they had them there too. Oh my gosh, that is the best smoothie I have ever had in my life. And I don't like fruit, and I don't like smoothies, and I don't like yogurt. But
it was
like power packed, and I'm sure there was a bunch of stuff in there that I would, be grossed out if I knew.
Right.
But
no, they'd probably
you can put a whole bunch of stuff in a smoothie.
A carrot in mine or something, because I like the fruit ones.
Yeah. But you can't have, we could never sneak spinach in because then it would turn it the weirdo color, right?
Broccoli.
And then
I'm beyond to you people.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Broccoli. Oh, yikes.
Yeah.
Well, and it's important to know that, you can get vitamins and minerals from supplements, but also there's a pretty good variety of different foods that you can get a lot of these different things.
Yeah.
So if you don't like broccoli, that might not be the end of the world for you because you might be able to get your calcium through yogurt, you know?
Righto. Yeah, for sure. So, grocery shopping tips. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. Make a grocery list in advance.
Right.
I find that I go to the grocery store and I come home with without things that I need and with things that I already have like 4 of them in the cupboard. And it seems like I always get stuck on something. I'm like, oh yeah, I've got to make sure I get this. We don't have enough of this. And then I get home and I'm like, I have a stockpile of that enough to last a year for sure. Anyway, I digress.
Check newspaper flyers and make notes of any sales. Cut out coupons. Find out if your grocery store has senior discount days. I know that during like the COVID pandemic there a couple of years ago, actually they were allowing a certain time for seniors to be the only ones in the store.
Yeah, that was wonderful.
There will be times that they do accommodate that for sure.
And some grocery stores, they might not have necessarily like a senior discount, but they have sale days. I know here locally there are stores that have like Thursday is like meat sale or whatever. So kind of pay attention to that stuff.
Yeah.
If you have mobility challenge, definitely try to shop at stores that either have those motorized carts or pick stores that have, larger aisles, helpful staff, those types of things. I will tell you, and this is really probably unfair of me because everybody's got to go to work and the workers aren't the ones that, set up the stocking schedule. But, I get so annoyed when I go to the grocery store and there's like crates or pallets of things in the middle of the aisle and people are stocking it, in the middle of the day or whatever time. I guess it doesn't matter what time it is. I'm just mad about it if it's in my way. And I shouldn't be that way because again, the work has to get done.
It makes it a lot harder
to
move around. And that's not with
and that's
the
just,
cart
that's
or
just being
a walker or
no additional challenges. It's just But I mean, we even have a gentleman that it's Monday is his shopping day, and he wants to be to the store by 8:30 because he knows that the crowd isn't going to be there, and
they've
so kind of pay attention.
Things
Yep, they've stocked his
morning.
things.
He's got it down to a science.
Yeah. If you're like me, you want to shop alone, but some people, if you need the additional assistance, see if a friend or a family member, or if you have an agency like ours, can take you shopping.
Yeah. Another thing that we did specifically through the pandemic, but I know a lot of the grocery stores still do this, is that you can actually order online and then you can just pick it up. And a lot of our seniors were doing that.
Yeah.
I remember when Sammy was having to do that.
It was brutal.
really, really hard because some people are very, very particular about their brand.
Yep.
You know, it can't be the store brand. It has to be Campbell's, and they might not have that same thing. I mean, it's just enough to make you pull your hair out.
Well, and I have to be honest, I'm going to be difficult to get along with when I get old because the older I get, when I find a brand of something that I like, that's the only kind that I want. So for instance, I think it's Western Family at Super One, which maybe it's rebranded as something else, but they have these like diced tomatoes with sweet onions. No other brand compares. So that is the only place I will get those. Oh my I don't do any of my other shopping there.
Oh, that's funny.
But isn't it weird? I don't know. I like what I like. I said what I said.
And see, that wouldn't bother me at all because I am not going to make that special trip to get that one thing there.
See, and I know.
Can't do
well,
it.
That's because then I have to buy them like 12,000 at a time so that I have enough for the year.
Yeah.
Laundry detergent is another thing for me because we wash a lot of farm clothes. So I found this Out Pro Wash, and it's like an odor eliminator, and it seems to work pretty well. I don't know. Do I stink? Do my clothes smell okay? Do you notice me smelling like the barn?
Now I'll be paying attention to it.
Walmart used to have it. They don't have it anymore. So I'm like, I can never go back to anything else. So now I have to buy it online.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, I don't know why I went off on that tangent, but eat before you go shopping.
Oh my word. Absolutely. Yes.
Otherwise you'll end up with a lot more than you went there for.
Yep. And take your list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you are on a tight budget, and you aren't a weirdo like me, although I'm not necessarily like name brand specific, if you buy those store brands, you generally speaking will be able to save a little bit of money.
Yeah. 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 And don't purchase too many perishable items. Just buy what you think you'll eat over the next few days. And also, the one thing that I tend to do is think everything looks really yummy. But I then get home and wish that lettuce pack that I had bought was actually a 12-pack of donuts.
You're like, what? This is lettuce? I thought I was getting Twinkies. That would be me. Always, every time I go to Costco, I'm so guilty of this. And that's why I don't go there very often. I'll go through the vegetable section. I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm going to make Brussels sprouts, and I'm going to have cucumbers, and I'm going to do salad, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. And I buy all of it. And then I will do one thing with it. That's why, honestly, HelloFresh it's expensive, but in the long run, it's probably cheaper for me because I'm not throwing away food.
Yeah. Well, I have a bunny that likes that.
Your bunny's like, yes, Julie, today's the day. Go to Costco.
Shopping and then don't eat it.
Yeah.
So healthy snack ideas is so, for example, baked apples or pears topped with cinnamon nuts and raisins.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah. Baked sweet potato fries, celery, apples,
I see
bananas.
you skipped over the kale chips.
I didn't even know what kale is.
You couldn't even say it.
I don't even know what kale is.
We'll just breeze right past that one.
And yeah, some of these are
celery, apples, bananas.
Yeah, fresh fruit and granola with low-fat yogurt. So yogurt. There's Greek yogurt, and that's gross. A lot of people love Greek yogurt, but I don't. I think it's gross.
What don't you like about it?
Everything. It's just
the
a stronger taste of ick.
More abundantly ick.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But I'm not a huge yogurt fan to start out with, but then you put the Greek into it, just forget it.
What about Go-Gurt? Where do you stand on Go-Gurt?
When I'm in a hurry or if I'm going to have kids over.
Who ever thought of the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a marketing delight.
Yeah, and it's a mess, man. Because there's always the little corner piece that gets torn off, gets left somewhere, and then you get a half drained down. Ugh, I'm not a fan of the Go-Gurt. No, thank you.
Yeah, yes. Whole grain crackers with salsa or guac, veggie sticks and hummus.
What is a chickpea?
I don't know.
Is it like a bean?
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, Alyssa gave me the nod.
Okay.
See, that tells you how proficient we are in vegetables. Not very.
We're talking really fast through this section. And then there's just some really good inspirational cookbooks and also blogs. But you'll notice on social media, there will be a lot of different things that people make, and they'll show you the steps, and I'll save a lot of those recipes because it's like, dang, that's fast, that's easy. It looks delicious.
Yep.
And so, I mean, on any social media nowadays, you can get all of the nutritional stuff that you want.
So much of my feed on Instagram and TikTok, it either has to do with sheep or farm type things or food.
Yeah.
Easy food recipes. It's funny. Bailey said to me the other day, because I made this chicken in the crock pot stuff. And Bailey's like, when she was growing up, she just thought crock pot, like it was just so disgusting. Like, oh, we're having food from the crock pot. But now as an adult, she's like, yeah, that's where it's at.
Oh, that's so funny that you say that, because Callie and I just had a conversation last night about her going to purchase a crock pot.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, it's so helpful. You know, I'm not going to win any fancy cooking awards, but we get fed. It tastes good.
Yep. I've had enough of your cooking to know you're a good cook. Yeah.
Thank you.
Motivational tips for staying on track. See, this is where I need to work on myself. But if you or your loved one needs to make some dietary changes, then certain actions can make the transition easier to implement and stick to. You may want to start by asking support from your family or talking to a nutritionist. Basically help make your changes slow rather than all at once. For example, introduce a new fruit or vegetable into your diet every week. Gradually replace white bread and pasta with whole wheat versions. Start replacing white rice with brown rice. Yeah. Do you want to make the cooking and eating more enjoyable? Try new recipes like we were talking about. Keep a list of simple recipes, preparing food and meals when your energy is at the highest. I know I've said to you before, okay, next week I'm going to be really good. This weekend I'm going to go shopping. I'm going to food prep. I'm going to do it all.
I know.
And then on Monday I'm like, oh.
That's what I was thinking.
Didn't get to that.
Yeah. Like all the time, because if we have the food in the house to make healthier choices, we'll make healthier choices.
Yeah.
But it's a matter of getting to the store and, you know, again, lambing, calving, working, all of these things. I don't even know how long it's been since I've I'll stop by the store and grab one little thing here or there, but to actually go and replenish, restock.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah. Cooking large meals and then freezing individual portions that you can quickly reheat on days when you find that your energy is low. And actually, we've had many clients where we'll go and make a goulash of some sort or stroganoff or this or soup. And then we, put them into smaller Tupperwares.
Yep.
Take a piece of tape,
yep,
and then with a marker write the date on it.
Yep.
And then you can put them in the freezer or the fridge, whatever, and then those people can grab those and warm those up, because a lot of people they're not going to cook. They might get their Meals on Wheels during lunch,
right?
And that's the only meal they'll have because they're just not interested in the effort that it takes. But if they can just take something out and nuke it, that they like. And then some people are just hell-bent that they will not eat leftovers.
Yes.
Yeah. And in our house, it's like 2 or 3 days of having snacks, having dinner, and we have leftovers. And then Mike will say, what's for lunch or for dinner? And I just bring everything out from the last 2 to 3 days. I said, warm up what you want. And
we call that you're on your own day.
Yeah. I said, what did I call it? Something that's leftover delight.
Yes. Yes.
But some people will not eat the leftovers. And you were looking at Alyssa for that. She doesn't like leftovers?
I don't think she's a big fan.
Oh, really? Sometimes things are better the second day.
Lasagna.
No,
she's giving us not only no, but heck no.
Shocking.
Huh. There you go.
There you go.
Other things to think about to make that and that dining experience more enjoyable, and basically look around your dining space, right? Make it something that's appealing to you. If you can, eat outside when the weather permits, if there are no bees. That makes me so mad. We have this thing now. It's just kind of a tradition. And I think because Kevin and Bailey and I all end up talking a lot throughout the day about things that are going on with our businesses, and we have the ability to be able to do that. So our kind of tradition, if you will, we make dinner, sit down, say grace, and we're getting better. We used to say the Come Lord Jesus grace, but now we're trying to each individually pray. And then we actually will turn on one of the Chicago series, whether it's PD or Fire or Med, and just have a debrief, a de-escalating from your day. You just watch that, kind of zone out.
Righto.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very enjoyable to me to do that.
Yeah, see, I don't get to see my husband throughout the day. So when we have dinner and after we say grace, then it's kind of catch up time.
Yeah, get an update on the day.
Yeah, that's exactly what we do. Mm-hmm. But they do say that not a lot of people slow down nowadays and eat together.
Yeah.
And that was something that we just always did.
It's huge. They say even for like young kids, the importance of coming to the table.
Yeah.
How even if it's just one time a week, and even if it's just sitting together and you are watching that TV program or whatever, but just the act of coming together at the table is very, very impactful.
Yeah. Yep. No, and even if dinner is at midnight, just
usually in the summertime.
What's going on the farm?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then going out to eat occasionally can, spice things up if your budget allows.
Sure.
I was informed that Mike said this weekend at some point we're getting pizza.
Oh, fun.
He's just been wanting pizza. I go, what kind of pizza? He goes, that's to be determined. So
nice. Isn't that fun? You've got that to look forward to.
Yep.
We've got some good options here in the Valley.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so actually, when it comes to your seniors, you do have to just slow down and really think about what do they like, how do they like to eat. Some people are extremely structured. When I wake up in the morning, I do this coffee, then I have my eggs and my this and my that, and they're very structured. At noon, we eat. At 5:30 we eat, and that's just how they roll. Right. So you have to respect that. One time I went and was trying to help a gentleman from our church, and I set dinner out, and as I was preparing everything, and I went in, I said, dinner's ready. And he looked at me, he goes, I eat and it was an hour different from what I had ready. And I wasn't going to still be there in an hour. I was like, well, I'll
those routines
and he was just looked at me like I had gone bonkers. I was like,
lady, what world am I living in?
But yeah, no, I if he would have ate an hour different than what his schedule was, it was going to just blow the whole rest of the day. Yeah. So anyway, then I learned and I made sure everybody knew that this is when we have dinner, and he means it.
Well, and those routines can be very, very, they can have a big impact on your day. I will bring up our friend Bud, or Manny, who gets lambs from us, and he helps every Saturday. He comes over and helps in the barn. And I have learned that having lunch pretty close to that noon lunchtime, and if it's not going to be noon lunchtime, having a snack on hand is imperative to his ability to keep moving forward.
Oh, my
because
word.
The poor kid, I mean, he just reaches a certain level, and if he doesn't have any food, it's like you just lose him.
He's gone.
I called him a piddle fart once, and he's never gotten over it. So I was like, okay, I need to change my strategy, and we'll have snacks.
Oh, my word. Yeah, well, depending on the project, you might not eat till 2 or 3.
And that's how we like to go. I mean, because when you come in, if you're out cleaning the barn and then you come in to have lunch, it is very difficult to motivate yourself to go back out.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
so you eat
until you're done. Yep. Or, I mean, you work until you're done, then you go.
Yeah. So basically, one of the things, if you're a senior or you're taking care of a senior, is understanding the changing nutritional needs, which is important for staying safe and healthy. The biggest thing is getting the appropriate, whatever it is they need to maintain, their muscle mass enough to keep them going. Yep. I have a family member that she just had a bone density test, and I think the normal's like 150, and she was at like -40.
Oh boy!
And what my understanding is she just was one of them that never liked milk.
Oh,
and so it's catching up with her, and unfortunately, in her not dislike for milk, obviously, she never found something that would then supplement her calcium needs.
Right. And
now in her, a little later, she's not old. I mean, she's just in her, late 60s.
Yeah.
It's going to, I don't know that you can go backwards from that and start drinking milk like this. You know what
I should do a bone density.
Yeah.
I love milk. I just don't think about it that frequently.
Yeah, no, we have milk about every night. The one thing that I usually am so good about it, but lately I have a heck of a time drinking enough water. And that's one of the things that they say is just imperative as well, because that will keep your skin and your gut going and
hydration. Hydrate.
Yeah, especially if I start that iron supplement like I was talking about. So basically you've really got to also, one of the things that we do in caregiving is input, output. And so what we're watching for is how much did somebody eat?
Right.
And how much did they drink?
Yeah.
And because then we also then have to watch the other end and say, did they poop today? And, or did they urinate?
Right.
Because how much is working through? And that's a big deal. It's a big deal. Yeah.
So some fun things that you can do, recipe sharing. I love that. If you're into those like group shopping experiences, that can be a thing. I would not be for me.
Right.
But some people love that. Our friend Sunny, she likes to go shopping together more than just herself.
Yeah. Yeah. No, true. She does. Yeah. It's the worst thing I can do is take my husband with me.
Me too. So when Kevin takes me to the grocery store, he'll always say like, do you want me to come in or do you want me to wait in the car? And I'm like, well, that depends on you, buddy. Like, are you going to, where are you at? Like, how agitated are you? Because if you're going to be mad, yes. And then the other day, it was so funny. He did go into Target with me and then we're standing in line and he was kind of lipping off about something. I said, Kevin, it's time to go to the car. He was kidding and I was kidding, but yeah, it's not an enjoyable
I would have thought
thing.
he would have said, that's opportunity taken. Boom,
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, I'm going to see you later. And then make learning about nutrition fun, right?
Yeah.
So not everyone enjoys the idea of being taught something new, but nutrition for the elderly is very important. So learning key guidelines can help truly save lives, honestly.
Oh my word. Absolutely. And one of the things that when you said that, I think about it a lot is on these social medias, there's a lot of people that have a lot of different ideas for diet, for this, for that. I mean, and you've got to make sure that it's appropriate for you.
Oh yeah, because not everything is for everyone.
Well, and there's a lot of crap out there that's not necessarily true. I mean, for a while there, wasn't everybody on just a magnesium kick?
Oh,
you know, or whatever the kick was, because they heard about it on social media, so it must be true.
yeah.
And so, you know, there's a lot of different things that you just do your research.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe we wrap up with some ideas on ways to be able to help encourage someone or get somebody to eat.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Okay.
Water, water, water. Make sure the person that you are caring for has plenty of water to avoid dehydration. That dehydration can actually lead to appetite suppression. So make sure that they have lots of water. Encourage that. I mean, that's truly one of the things that we have on a lot of care plans is just encouraging water or reminding, because I don't think about it all the time.
No.
You know, when my body says, hey, you need water, is like at midnight. Yes. So then I'll drink like a huge glass of water and then I'm up 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000 times.
That's annoying.
So annoying.
Ugh. Keep it small. Instead of 3 large meals a day, which can look overwhelming to someone in poor health, serve 6 small meals a day.
They say bulk up on the amount of calories per meal. And one way that you can do that is to add like protein powder mix, or drinks like you were talking about, Ensure or Boost. Yep.
Soft is better. Serve soft foods such as pudding, ice cream, or fruit smoothies because they can be tasty and easy to digest. Now, just last week, we went and celebrated a birthday.
Yes.
And you went with me to my family's, and to Grandma and to Mother's. And Grandma was having swallowing issues. And so her whole lunch decision was based on what was just going to be able to be tolerated and safely go down her throat. Nothing scratchy. Right. Nothing that she could choke on. And so she had clam chowder.
It limited the options significantly.
Very much. And I know she was bummed out about that. But then to our utter delight, at the end, since it was Mother's birthday, they brought out this most delicious, and I can't remember, raspberry cheesecake.
Like raspberry white chocolate or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know. It was
so good.
It was so good.
But Grandma could eat that. And so
she could. The consistency was good.
She was able to enjoy that. Yeah. But Mom was saying, well, you know, her swallowing thing is coming back, so now we've got to really, really be careful on what she's got available to her.
Yeah. Hey, I'm sure that you don't know this one, but make it tasty. Don't serve bland or sour tasting foods. I mean, I don't know why I didn't think of that.
Right? You know, I have to be very careful in my house because Mike is such a wuss when it comes to anything spicy, and I'm all about the spice.
You're the spice queen.
Oh my gosh. So you know what I've started doing is I make it and don't add any fun stuff. And then when I dish up mine, I've started going like crazy through the chili flakes.
Oh yeah,
and just like the things you put on like your pizza.
Yeah.
And I'm just pouring it on there, and he's just looking at me going, "Oh my word!" And then pepper. I mean, I'm getting to the point that the hotter the better.
Wow. I know. Sometimes we have to have our alley connection food just so you can get that hot mustard and clear out your
that
sinuses.
cleans every orifice.
Oh, I know. And then you're like, eyes are watering,
Hurts
nose
so
is
good.
running, crying.
Why do I do this to myself? But he likes very, very bland, and I'm all about the spice.
Well, I have to give it up to my mom because I think we've established long ago that I was a spoiled, pretty princess when I was growing up. And she would always make whatever she was making. If there were onions in it, she would do like you do, pull out my portion first, then put the onions in. I remember it distinctly with her potato salad. And
my mother,
to this day, she still does it for me.
My mother does that for me on some, always Julie's going to be there. Don't put the celery in or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Our mamas love us.
Mm-hmm. Put the power in their hands. When possible, give the person you are caring for the decision-making power to decide what they would like to eat. It helps them to feel in control.
Yeah. Make it pretty. And by that, don't add spinach. No. Present an appetizing looking meal. You can do something to accentuate it or do garnish or things like that. Or just make it look appealing, right? Because you don't want to.
My sister is the garnish queen.
Oh, her stuff is beautiful.
She makes it look like a whatever,
just gourmet. And
and I just throw it on the table and say, "Eat it."
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah,
I thought I heard a story a long time ago, like years ago in a former life, about somebody that on St. Patrick's Day had made like gravy but added green food coloring to it, and it was like it just threw it off so bad that people couldn't even eat it. There was nothing different about it. The gravy was the gravy, but it was just
I did that
not
to
what
my
it was
kids.
supposed to look like.
I did that to my kids one day, and it was St. Patrick's.
Yeah.
And I put in a little bit of green for the cornbread.
Yes.
And everything on the table was green.
Oh,
and
how fun.
I'm trying to remember their reactions. I think at first they were a bit taken back until they did realize that it was actually
there's no taste.
The same thing. It just was in reference to the holiday.
Yeah. Write things down. So basically, if you are working with someone that's having a challenge, just make sure that you're keeping a food diary. I will have to do that sometimes if I'm having bad headaches or if my stomach is giving me trouble or things like that. I'll have to okay, what am I eating? What's consistent? And what do I need to eliminate to feel better?
Patterns.
Yep.
Looking for those patterns.
Yep.
And then work it out. Try and get somebody moving to work up an appetite. If overall exercise such as walking isn't possible, have them fold the laundry or peel vegetables. Yep. And that's just some of the things. We're not burning the calories, so we're not hungry.
And I think it always goes back to that the body in motion stays in motion, right? Yeah. So you gotta. It's sometimes, especially in the wintertime when it's a little more dreary, it's harder to get up.
Oh yeah.
Make yourself go do something.
Yeah.
That's why when I get home, honestly, I'm like, I just cannot sit down. So I'll get home and I'll just remain on my feet until dinner. Then you sit and then you can go and
it'll be a little bit nicer and easier once that it stays lighter longer.
Yeah, that makes
sure.
Yeah.
So
it always just boosts the energy.
Yeah. Yeah. So to summarize, you've just got to find what works for your person. Yeah. Keep up the nutrition and just make sure that they're getting that in. Yep. A lot of the times when we're dealing with our elders, we do deal with a lot of UTIs and things like that. And that's completely attributable to how much hydration and getting that system flushed out. Yeah. So
very true.
Yeah, it's very, very vital.
So the grandma's saying, I'm like, I don't know. Is it a little risque? I'm not sure, but I thought about it the other day and mentioned it to you because I figured you grew up on a farm, so you have to have heard this before. So take it away, Julie.
Well, so what you texted me was that you said, tough titty, said the kitty when the milk went dry.
Right.
Now, my version that I grew up with was tough titty, said the kitty, but the milk's still good.
Isn't that weird? Because after I said it, I was like, I need to look this up on the internet. But then I was a little nervous because I was like, you don't know what's going to come up when you put something in the search bar. And I was like, I don't want my computer to explode or burst into flames. But yeah, I did see that. So both versions. But so on my growing up with it, tough titty said the kitty when the milk went dry was kind of like,
yeah,
tough luck, buddy.
Yeah. And that's exactly what ours was too. It was just like tough titty.
Yeah.
And that's just how it was. There wasn't.
And you're like, oh, Fair point. Fair enough.
Yeah, well, darn it. That's not going to work then.
Yep. That's too funny. Awesome. Well, thank you, Julie, for another really good topic. Listeners, if you haven't subscribed yet, please go do that. You can do it anywhere you listen to podcasts. Google, Apple, all those places.
All of them.
Yeah. Send us your good news stories. Send us your verses. Send us your grandma sayings. You can email those to thecaregivenpodcast@gmail.com. Join our Apaga Care and Share Facebook.
Yes.
If you really want to see what we look like, you can check us out on YouTube. And
buyer beware on that one.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. Faces for radio. Anyway, thank you guys so much, and peace out, Girl Scouts.
Have a super day.